G'day, Tonia Reeves, Australia's psychic cowgirl, coming at you from Sunday Creek today. We've had a heap of rain here and it has been absolutely amazing. It's definitely what Australia needs, and we're starting to get like massive amounts of rain. So it's really cool. Our dams are filling up, our tanks are filling up, and we are, absolutely excited to go out, and there's water everywhere. So feeling very grateful today. And I think many here, especially around the area where I am, we're really dry. We depend on dams and water feed for stock and, just generally for ourselves instead of having to buy water in. The only option when you are on tank water here is to buy it in. So we bought some, I think, last week. So, and we've bought a few loads in already this summer, which isn't uncommon in the dry season, but it's been really dry. But we had about 55 mils last night, so we're so excited. So, I'm celebrating that. So anyway, energetically, it's been a really amazing time at the moment for people to be really, oh my God, just ready to be totally frustrated, because we've had Mercury in retrograde, but we've also just had a real standstill where people that are usually able to manifest things have been really stumbling along. And I've had that feedback from many people. And even I found myself that I've been holding back on things because it's just like timing's not right, or things aren't working out as you expect them to be. But it's almost like like I said last week, we're being pulled up for a reason. So I've just been embracing the being pulled up and going, what is it I need to tick off my list to do? And let's focus on doing that rather than worrying about what is coming up. So I do feel that's a real message for everyone. Again, this week's similar to last week, just focusing on what needs to be done, get stuff done in this moment where you're being held back, and maybe not jumping into what it is you want to be jumping into, and just accept the fact that, sometimes we are just seriously pulled back for a reason, or we're feeling a bit stuck for a reason. Don't lose the faith. I shared this with my group that I've got attached to my Facebook page, and I said, look, we just got to keep the faith, Sometimes that message is given to us over and over, but it's always given to us for a reason. So all that is meant to be will be, but sometimes it's all about patience and having trust in the fact that it will all work out for your highest good. And I honestly believe that. And sometimes, as hard as life can be, if we keep that in the back of our mind, and it might be just once a day saying, you know what, I've got this. And just say that to yourself in the mirror, I've got this. And you'll find that things, they do turn around anyway. Nothing stays the same. So things are always brought about with change. But sometimes the more that we panic about it, or the more that we stress about what's going to happen, and am I going to be okay? Will I be able to, do what I want to do? All of these worries, stresses, and things that are on our mind tend to then repel the end result we want, and make it sit there for longer. So I do feel that with the energy around at the moment, we need to be accepting of it and allow that, okay, if we're held up for whatever way, shape or form, or whatever is meant to be will be. And if I'm held up, I'm not going to get into my head and worry about it. It's almost like we need to shift our attention. So rather than focusing on what's not happening that we want to happen, let's focus on something we can control. Because as we know, there's no point worrying about what we can't control, and we may as well focus that attention on what we can control. So shift your attention. Quite often when you shift your focus, then things come into alignment even quicker. So I feel like that's a really strong message at the moment. So if things aren't panning out for you, you're struggling, or you're not feeling like you're getting the messages through that are giving you the signs, just let it go, move on to something else, and it will come back into alignment. So I just feel that. And I know a lot of people are sharing at the moment, energetically, we're into March, there's a big shift that's coming. And I can't remember who I was listening to yesterday. I think I shared it on my group. But, yeah, it's like things are going to change around. So had this bit of a hold up, and I feel like I want to go back to the last 6 weeks because I feel like I'm repeating myself. And even with readings and things, I feel like I'm a broken record going, it's coming. But I really do feel we're into March now, and that shift where things will propel us to where we need to be quicker. Even from this weekend onwards, I feel like you'll start to get some confirmation. So don't be put off and don't be disheartened by what's been happening, because, again, we always know that change is inevitable and nothing ever stays the same. So if you're stuck and feel out of sorts, it's not long-lived. So please remember that. Okay, I'm going to go on to my first caller. I have got Amber in Ingraham, Illinois. Amber, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. What would you like me to focus on today for your reading?
What?
What would you like me to focus on? Did you have something specific you wanted to ask me in regards to your reading today? Because I felt like there is.
Well, me and my husband have been trying to conceive for quite a few years, and we are having tons and tons of trouble, and my health is going down the drain.
Okay. So times like these put a lot of stress and pressure on yourself. Let me just have a look at, okay. So is it you that's from the big family? Because somebody here in spirit showing me there's a big family history. So it's like someone's from a line of many children and they want me to remind you of that. Now, is that your family, can I ask?
That is actually my husband's family.
Okay. Because I'm like, they're showing me, hang on a minute, there's a history of a lot of children in the family, so don't be disheartened. So, okay, straight away, I get that. All right, it's a little bit like, and I had a caller similar to this last week, it's a little bit like a watch kettle, when we're anticipating things, we tend to want it so much that we tend to then energetically push it away from us. Now,
right.
because I'm going to connect in with spirit who's coming through. I've got a lady who's very nurturing and very motherly, who's the one that's stepping in, and I feel like I want to go to your husband's family because she was the one that's showing me there's a lot of kids in the family. So I feel like I'm connecting, and I even want to go to the reference to June, whether that's a name or reference to the month. There's something that she's showing me in evidence to prove, like who she is. And it's like she's the reassuring motherly type. So she's quite family orientated. And there's something, is there horses around, or where do the horses fit in for you?
The what?
Horses. I get the vision of horses, and I'm just looking at it whether it's symbolic or you have horses around.
We don't have any.
Okay, all right. So there's something like symbolically the horse means to freedom. It means to opening the gate and letting things go. So can I ask, because I feel like what she's showing me, there's nothing, you haven't had any proof or evidence as to why you haven't conceived. So I don't feel that medically there's a problem. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, because she's showing me there's not a big deal. It's almost like the anticipation is what's holding back from you. It's almost like I want to say we need to mix things up to embrace this happening. So it's like if you've been, sometimes we plan things to the nth degree so we don't allow things to happen naturally. It's like this child that's coming in needs to be, when I say it's funny, because what she's showing me is like a little bit of a surprise, but it's a little bit like you're shifting your focus is going to bring the child in. And I do see there are children, so it's not a case of, am I going to have them? There's definitely children coming in for you, but it's this when. So I'm like going 2020 is a really big year for manifesting, and I feel like with our first one, you're getting the news this year. Okay, let me see what she's showing me. I'm just wondering whether June, there's a reference to June with that because she came through with that earlier, and it's like that's relevant to something. Okay, let me see. Where am I going with this? Okay. There's something, have you been having tests to work out what you're lacking in? Because I feel like I want to go to, I don't have a lot of energy, and there's something that you're a bit lacking in right at this point in time.
No, I actually haven't had any.
Okay, because I feel like I want to go to, and again, not that it's necessarily linked to fertility, but there's something around I feel like I'm lacking in. So like almost like I could do with a blood test and check, but I feel like I wanted to go to vitamin Bs, and I really don't know where they're connected to fertility at all. But it's almost like you're lacking in something that I feel if you were to balance that out will help with conception. And okay. I do want to say to you, so have you been following, because she's showing me you've been following all the strict rules around falling pregnant. So I don't know whether that means you're working out ovulation dates, and I feel like I've got all these strict things in place, and she's showing me to let that go and just allow this to happen. So I'm not sure, with trying to make this happen and the fact that it hasn't, that you're putting things in place, but it's like she's showing me to go, throw it out the window and enjoy this, because the child is coming, but I want to take the pressure off the two of you.
Okay.
Okay, because so I don't know, does that relate? Are you putting things in place as far as falling pregnant and putting restrictions on things or planning things?
Honestly, that's a lot of what our mindset has been on, just because my husband has been wanting a baby girl so bad. That's like all he thinks about, all he ever talks about. So it kind of just stresses on me, because I feel like I'm not going to be able to give him one.
Okay. So it's like we need to let that go. And I almost want you to say to him, look, it will happen. Stop overthinking it. Stop. It's like, again, going back to the analogy of watch kettle, the more pressure that's on, the less likely it's to happen. So it's like you need to almost just say to him, look, she will be coming in, but we need to just, take a deep breath and just enjoy. And I feel a little bit, and it's funny, I said this to the lady last week, you need to go on a holiday and get out of the normal routine to help with, to kick things along. Get out of that. I'm not thinking about that. I'm on holiday, I'm relaxing. Quite often people that have struggled to conceive, it's when they've gone off doing something different, or they're taken out of that mindset of worrying about it, that it happens. And I feel like that's the case for the two of you. And it's like, don't worry, it will happen. So it's like, even for you to say to him, just, what, shut up. I know it's going to happen. Stop talking about it.
Right. Yeah.
Right. It's like, just say, yes, we know that's going to happen. Next, talk about something else. Because it's like acknowledging the fact that it's going to happen. And I feel like intuitively you do. You're quite spiritual and you're quite in tune, and it's just more the frustration. But I feel like it's more like you're saying, it's around him, and I feel like his desire for it is because he actually deep down knows it's going to happen, and he's just not allowing the process of it to happen. But it definitely will happen. There's something around you also with, it's important to not have a lot of stress on you. So with what you're doing for work, or what I see around you, is let go of any stress, anything that brings extra stress. We want to get rid of that.
Okay.
Okay, so anything that stresses you out. I feel like, are you working at the moment? Is there something that you're doing that's a little bit stressful?
No, I'm a stay-at-home mom.
Okay. Because I feel like it's like they're showing me there's something you need to let go of that's can be a bit stressful for you.
Well, what I've been pretty stressed out about is about 2 weeks ago, I got a call that my grandma had passed away, and I didn't get to say goodbye to her, and I was super close to her and never got closure or anything.
Yeah, okay. Can I just what's her first name?
Sandra.
Sandra. Okay, let's see if we can get Sandra through. Was there a bit of a gap so you hadn't seen her a little bit prior to her passing, or was there something around you having plans to see her and you didn't get to do that?
Actually, I had took her out. I took her out Friday. I had a doctor's appointment, and she got her hair permed. And then Saturday, I didn't see her, and Sunday was when I got the call that she had passed that night.
Okay, all right. Let me see. I'm just going to connect in with her. Okay, there's something around. Okay, there's something around her connection to you. It was easier for you not to be there, and I often get shown this in spirit that have passed, is it's easier for them to transition when you're not there. Usually when you're around, it's like that's when they don't want to pass over and let go. And I do feel for her, there was something niggling that it's almost like she's showing me now she's passed, there's not that pain or there's not that. So I feel like there was something around that was restricting her and not making her enjoy life to the full. And I feel like that she was the sort that liked to live life to the full. And I also feel like with her, with what she's showing me, she was very non-judgmental, like a lovely, accepting person.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. There's also, she's laughing at that and going, like, don't worry about okay. Because there's been questions. All right. She's just referencing you and her having chats. There's been questions around your future and which direction you're heading in. And I feel like she's showing me that as in last conversations she's had with you and things that you spoke about were the direction you were heading in. Because I want to say she's showing me something about moving and a clean slate for you. Okay, there's something around. I don't know whether you had that discussion with her, you were tossing up something with yourself and your partner, or we might be doing this, because I feel like she's showing me, it's almost like she's saying to me, tell her there's a fresh slate happening.
Wow.
Okay, so it's really important that she got that through for me to tell you. And there's also a thing of not worrying. So it's like she wants to take your worry away. And I feel like she did that when she was here as well. And there's some reference to going outside with her. So I don't know whether there was a plant or there was something she's showing me going outside when you want to connect in with her. And there's a reference to butterflies. So I feel like if you were to see a butterfly, that's her signal to say she's okay. And she wants to say, like, don't worry about not being there. And she's like, you already know that, is what she's telling me. You already, there's something around you two having a conversation and both being really well connected. And it's like you didn't need to say goodbye. She always knew you had her back. As she's got your back is what she's showing me. Just having a bit of a gap there, no response. But I feel like we're connecting with something quite heavy, like quite strong. So I do have to go on to my second caller as I am running out of time. But Amber, please message me Australia Psychic Cowgirl on Facebook. I'm more than happy to answer any questions. But your grandmother is there, and it's like the special connection you had in life, you still will have that in spirit. So know that. She's definitely there for you. So I'm going to go on to Jane now, my second caller in England, UK. Jane, hi there.
Hello there.
How you going?
How are you? I'm good, thank you.
I haven't connected with somebody in England for ages, so I'm very excited. Jane, what would you like me to cover? Because we are limited on time, but I want to make sure I can get everything I need for you.
I don't know really. Anything you
okay.
kind of
all
feel.
right. I want to say to you a really strong message that came to me before getting onto this show, and I knew it wasn't for my first caller, so I'm like, it has to be for my second. Be open to success. There's something around you stepping up, and there's success around you, and it's like, please open your arms to this. So it's a little bit like when I get shown that, it's like like eat the fear up and move through that, because it's like you're going to be stepping into something quite big this year. And I want to say there's a lot of success around it. So Spirit is showing me, tell her to be ready. Tell her to be open. So in this message, it's like, I want you to say yes to things. So are you collaborating now with stepping up with others?
No, nothing's happening around me at all at the moment.
Okay. Right. Well, what is it that you're changing up? So I feel like I want to go to what you do, or there's something you've got in your head you're wanting to step into doing. And I feel like I'm doing something. So this is, I don't necessarily feel it's, as far as career goes, as far as stepping into doing what I've always dreamed about doing.
You're going to laugh. Doing like psychic readings.
Brilliant. So you're doing those now? Yay! Okay.
Well, sort of.
All right, because it's like the only thing holding you back is you. And I know with stepping into readings, it takes a lot of self-belief. It takes a lot of trust in the fact that what you're getting is correct. But it's like they're showing me great success around you. So I have to say, it's like don't feed into any excuses as to why you're not doing things, because it's almost for you, it's like you need to be doing things. You're hiding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not got much confidence at the moment.
Okay. I can relate to this because we've all started here, and it's like stepping into the spiritual side of things, can be quite contradictory, but it's like you've got many in spirit around you that are ready to step up to the plate. So it's almost like they're standing around going, hey, we want to be made useful here, and I do want to say what they're showing me is you've had great feedback on what you've done already.
I have, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, it's because it's almost like they're shrugging their shoulders going, what? Why are you not doing this? Like it's really only the limitations you're putting on yourself. It's not to do with the fact that you are great at doing what you do. And it's the timing is right now for you. So I feel like I want to go to, you've been pulled back. It's like you've been pulled back in to go commit to this. It's time to really step up and commit. And it's almost like, or what Spirit's showing me is you've been cut back to really make you have to do this.
Okay.
All right? Yeah. So it's like you've been pulled back for a reason, because this is the right time for you to step into it. Well, 2020, this is a really powerful year for many that want to step up and into it. But I do want to say to you, it's time, not to be hiding. And, I know as a spiritual person myself, the hardest part is self-promotion. But I feel like for you, I want to say to you to get somebody to step in and do the promotion side. You're great at what you do, but you just need somebody to help you, get this process down pat so people can contact you, connect with you and book with you. And they're showing me there's a lot of repeat customers already. So I feel like you're building a clientele anyway.
Oh, well, that hasn't happened yet. Obviously, it's going to.
But it's like the people. What I see is, and it's a really big thing that a lot of people tend to forget about, but word of mouth. So it's like as you're opening up to this and you're doing a reading and people are happy, they're telling other people, and that's what's bringing people to you. So it's like word of mouth. I'm following that guidance, but it's like almost there's an angelic energy around you, and it's like they're stepping in to go, we're here ready to help you. We're just waiting for you to step up. And I do feel like there's something around collaboration with others. So it's almost like if you were to approach others that maybe have centres or places that you can go and read at, you will build up the clientele. But we need to get you out there, because it's almost like they're showing me, you can't sit at home hiding and things are going to take off.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
We need to we need to step outside of our comfort zone. And for me, with you, that's your message this year, is to face the fear. And I always say this, like I can say that this for myself, is we have to face the fear and overcome that, because that's where the gold is. So for you, it's like, you know, when you do readings, when you are psychically connected, we have that, you know, it's like that empathic side where we want to stay humble, and we don't want to, you know, have to put ourselves out there. And quite often this can be connected with, you know, even past lives and things we've had. We've been cut down for what we do. It's like we have to overcome that in this lifetime. And I feel like for you, because I want to go to throat, you know, areas of the throat that can show some restriction. So that can be, you know, your throat chakra or thyroid, or, you know, just all those throat things that sometimes come through in a lifetime when we've been restricted prior to. And it's like for you, I want to step up and step out of it. There's also what they're showing me is you've changed things up this year, or have you lost weight, or you've revamped something around how you look? Because I feel like there's something new that you've been doing.
I do want to lose weight, but it's been a bit hard.
Yeah, well, I see
that's
it
my
happening.
intention anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. So just focus on that, because there's something around that as well. So, you know, as we step into our personal power, we lose what holds us back. And any kind of, you know, with the work that I do around Louise Hay, any kind of weight that we carry is protection. And it's also about making us a bit invisible. So as we step into our personal power, the weight drops away, and all of a sudden we become seen, and, you know, we don't have that protection. So that will all be part and parcel with this. So to me, I would also look at the commitment to going, you know what, I feel like, and it's almost like, you know, what I'm saying to you already acknowledge anyway, but I need to look after this temple that is going to guide me into doing my readings and being able to be the best version of myself, because that's your journey this year. And it's like there's no excuses not to. It's like last year you let go of a lot of stuff that were holding you back. It's not there anymore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's like, come on, ready to go. There's no excuses anymore. So you've let go of what doesn't serve you, and everything. It's almost like everyone else has sorted their stuff out. So now it's time for you to focus on you. So every day I want you to focus on that one step ahead of the day before, where you're focusing on yourself, because you're ready to be propelled forward. There is success around this. And I would love to hear how you're stepping up in the next 4 months, because it's going to be amazing.
Wow, okay.
All right. So it's like, no excuses. I want you to please contact me and go, yep, Tonia, you know, I am pushing forward with this, because you've got it. And it's great. I'm excited for you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, I'm nearly out of time, but thank you so much for the call. Australia Psychic Cowgirl on Facebook. Contact me and keep me posted, Jane. I'd love to hear. That would be so cool. Thank you so much, everyone. I will see you same time, same place next week. Woo!